All right, so in today's video, we're going to talk about how to avoid the spam inbox when you're marketing your commercial solar company. First question you may ask yourself, William, why do I care about this? So if you're not already using cold email to market your commercial solar business, you could be making a really big mistake. Now, you can also rely on referrals. You can do cold calling. There's all sorts of ways to get potential clients for commercial solar. Cold email is what we found has been the most effective, especially for cold outreach. So if you're not using cold email, we highly, highly recommend you at least consider it, at least test it, because it definitely works, and it's been our number one way of finding meetings and appointments for commercial solar companies. So that being said, the number one issue with cold email is landing in spam. This is a big topic. A lot of people underestimate it. I underestimated it myself when I first started with cold email. And the reason it's so important is because if you spend a bunch of money building a list of potential people to reach out to, and you don't properly follow the rules that are getting stricter and stricter every month, you're going to end up in spam. And 90% of the people that you put so much time into building the list, crafting the email copy, sending it out, are not even going to see the email, and it defeats the whole purpose and wastes all your marketing dollars. So please, please, please pay attention to spam rules if you're doing cold email, and I'm going to show you high level today how you can avoid the spam inbox and land directly into your customer's inbox, potential customer's inbox, and get some meetings on the calendar so you can make some money, sell some commercial solar, and help out the environment as well. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen here. So first thing you want to note is you do not want to use your main domain for cold email. This is very important. So let's say your name is, looking at GoDaddy, let's say it's gosolar.com, or you're Go Solar, that's your name. I'm Go Solar. And your main domain is Go Solar. You do not want to use that main domain. Why is that? Because if you mess up, and odds are, if you're doing it for the first time, you probably will a little bit. And if you land in spam, you're going to hurt the reputation of your main domain. And you're going to start landing in spam even when you're sending out regular emails. So you obviously do not want this to happen. Keep your main domain safe. And what you want to do is you want to go to GoDaddy.com and buy an alternate domain. So we'll start with one. For us and our clients, we typically buy several so we can buy more email addresses. But we'll start with one today. Let's say your main domain is gosolar.com. Let's say maybe we want to do, just reverse the words, solargo.com. And you would just search that domain and let's see if it's available. So it looks like it's not available, which is totally okay. Let me try another one. All right, so I tried a few different ones. Let's say we're in, maybe we're in Southern California. Maybe you're in New Jersey. Maybe you're in Connecticut. Maybe you're in Texas. Maybe you're in Illinois. Whatever you want to do. You could put the location in the domain name. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't really matter as long as it looks like your main domain. So we have solargosocal.com. What we would do is we would just go ahead and buy this domain. It's pretty cheap through GoDaddy. So we're going to add it to the cart. You can just say no thanks to these. Looks good. Keep going. And it's important to note you can either buy email addresses, Microsoft Office email addresses through GoDaddy, or you could go with Google Domain. I'd recommend those two email providers just because they have the best reputation. If you go through something like Namecheap, we've made this mistake before and using private emails. We had good deliverability for a while and then it just crashed and ruined all our campaigns. So I highly recommend going with either Office or Google. So you don't really need domain protection just because this obviously isn't your main domain. But let's say we're going to go with Microsoft. Let's check the email essentials. All you really need is the essentials. And then we'll click continue here. All right, once you're to the checkout page, I usually just do 1 year here. I would recommend only doing one. You can always renew it if you want. And you could do 12 months. 12 months, you'll usually get a better deal. Or you can do it month to month. You're just going to have to pay more. Whatever works. I typically do 12 months. And then this is important. So big mistake I see a lot of companies in commercial solar that are doing cold email marketing is they crank this up. They're like, okay, more email addresses, I can just do that. But the problem with that is it matters, like if you're sending too many emails from the same domain, not the same email address, the same domain, you're going to be a higher likelihood of it landing in spam. So what you want to do, if you want 10 email addresses, for example, I'd recommend buying 5 domains, not one domain with 10 email addresses. I typically play it, say you can do 3. I typically play it very safe here, and I do 2 email addresses per domain. So again, if you want more domains, if you want more email addresses, buy another domain and repeat this process. And just go ahead and you'll want to just check out here. So once you click the checkout page, I'm not showing this step because I'm not actually buying an email address right now. I have plenty, but it's going to take you to a page. It's very easy. All you need to do is fill out your name, first name, last name you'll be using with the email address, and then you'll also do the name of the domain, the name of the email address, So mine, for example, is william@narif.com. So these are all my email addresses. Once you're done with that, though, this is what you would do. You would click that grid icon and go down to email and office, and this is going to take you to this page. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in and click on these email addresses. I need to set them up in here. So what I'm going to do, number 1, you're going to click this and create a password and click save. That's the first step. Second step is you want to turn on your SMTP. So go to edit, down here in account information, and you're going to go to advanced settings, and you want to turn on this SMTP authentication. That's important because it allows you to connect to the email sending provider. Last but not least, we're just going to click recheck DNS. And once we do that, we're good to go. We're going to do that for all of our email addresses we just purchased. Now, after this, it's very important that you include 2 records under your domain. I'm going to save this for another video just because it's a whole nother video of itself. And I want to just keep this one high level, but I will make another video about that and I'll link it in the description. But you're going to need to add a DMARC and a DKIM record, and that's very important for staying out of spam. Next thing you're going to want to do, once all your emails are set up and you have added your profile picture, etc., and you've logged in, again, I'll make another video about that. You're going to need an email sending platform. So the worst thing you can do is set up all these email addresses and you're not really tracking who's opening them, or you don't really have a good place to organize everything. So we use a platform. We're actually doing 2 platforms right now, but one of the ones we do is Instantly. So what you're going to want to do is you need to add your email addresses into Instantly and warm them up. So what does warm up mean? This is a big mistake I see a lot of commercial solar companies make too when they're doing cold email, is they buy new domains, they buy new email addresses, and they start sending the next day. This is wrong because you're gonna land in spam. You have to warm up the email address for at least 2 weeks. We play it safe. We do a full month of warm up. What does warm up mean? It means it's building your reputation with the sending providers. So Google especially is cracking down on cold email. Office is too, a little bit, not as much. But what you need to do is warming up these email addresses. It's gonna make them stand out and seem natural. Not stand out actually. It's gonna make them fly under the radar and seem natural, like you're naturally sending emails back and forth. And what you can do is you can use a warm-up tool to automate this process for you. So easy thing, you just set up these email addresses and you throw them into a tool like Instantly. And once you click this fire icon and you start warming them up, then you can just let it sit for a few weeks and then come back to it when it's ready to go. What you would simply do is just go to settings once you added it in here. And you could set up the warming settings in here. And again, I'll make another video on that and I'll link it in the description. But you can see these warm up just to show you high level. This has been automatically sending emails for the past few weeks. And I can see, hey, Friday we sent 9 emails, 0 landed in spam. So get that warm up process going. And then a month later, 2 weeks at the quickest, I recommend a full month. Then you can start sending cold email campaigns. Now, as far as tracking open rates, this is important. This tool is super important for that too. So this is why a tool like Instantly or Woodpecker is going to be so good, is because you can see who's opening my emails. We got a 68% open rate, and we can actually see, okay, which titles are opening our emails, which type of companies are opening our emails, and you can see which messages are hitting and resonating with your audience. You can go through here and track open rates and unique opens, etc. So very important to have a system to track your open rates so that you can adjust. And optimize your campaigns so that you can make them better and better over time. Now, a couple more things before I wrap up is just for avoiding the spam inbox, is you're going to want to run your list through Never Bounce. So this is a software that double checks email addresses and makes sure they're valid email addresses. Because the reason that's important is because if you send a bunch of emails to crappy email addresses that aren't real, you're going to land in spam eventually because it's going to see that you're not targeting real people. So what you want to do, I'm just doing 3 for this example, but I'm just doing these just to show you. We just put these in this box, click validate. And as you can see, it validated that. And it's showing me that these are accept all. They could be real, but there could be not. So I recommend keeping with valid. If you need to do accept all, that's okay too, depending on how tailored you want to be. But if you get this does not exist, don't ever send an email to there. This is going to hurt your reputation. Now, a couple other tools real quick I want to show you is going to be called Mail Meteor. So this is a great one. This is to see what in your email copy is triggering spam. So you want to avoid words that set off this mechanism. So dear friend, obviously no one even says that. So I'll just say, hey Sam, you can't say save money. So you can't say save or save big. So you got to get creative here. Cut their electricity. There we go. Now, you can't say, when I say can't, you can still say this. It's just the more you do it, the higher likelihood you're going to want to end in spam. You're going to end up in spam. So you want to clean this up as much as possible. I usually, just get rid of the $sign, per year. You're not really supposed to say that. You can spell out %, and then obviously don't say ASAP. Maybe do that. So this is just a little example. But you want to get these as clean as possible so they have the highest chance of landing in the inbox. Now, last thing I'm going to show you before I wrap up is this tool called Glock Apps. Is a tool that you can enter in your information. This is pretty high level. I'll make a separate video to go real in depth on it. But you can see you can basically track the health of your domains. And if anything, flags as red here, you'll be able to spot that before you send out an email campaign, and you can, halt that and put in different email addresses instead. Again, this is super high level overview of how to stay in the inbox. Again, this is super important because you're going to be wasting your marketing dollars for commercial solar if you don't do this. If you want a free training on how to book more commercial solar appointments, I have included a free training in the link. Click that link and it'll kind of walk you through this process high level. Again, I'll link more videos in the description, but hopefully this was valuable to you, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you.